Hi, we got a problem. The style pile has once again gotten a bit out of control. The style pile, as I affectionately like to call a pile of unfinished and thrifted items that I've meant to turn into something and never have, has gotten just a little bit out of control again. So the reason I stopped making the style pile series for like 2 years there is because around the end of 2018 I just got fed up with the whole thing and I just got rid of most of it. Either cut them up and turned it into scrap fabrics or donated things. But it didn't take long for the pile to reaccumulate itself. It's amazing how quickly it can do that.
So I'm bringing the style pile back because I super need to tackle this mess before it gets even more out of control. In today's episode, I'll be upcycling this sweater with a lot of pilling damage and making it once again wearable. So the brief story of this sweater is that when it came from a thrift store, it was slightly different to how it looks now. It was sporting the ugliest applique that I have ever seen in my life. So it was a dark blue sequined photorealistic painting of a cat that was wearing Ray-Ban glasses and had like emo hair, and then it had like diamantes all over it. It was a bizarre thing, and this illustration only gets close to how hideous and strange it was. However, the sweater underneath was cute, and as the applique was merely glued on, I thought I could remove it and liberate the cute sweater that was hiding underneath. Unfortunately, parts of the glue held on too well, and despite my careful use of a peeling comb, some sections of the sweater got far too peeled to be rescuable. Being on the front of the sweater, it just didn't look nice. So I thought
I am going to attempt to upcycle the thing with embroidery.
So at first I tried using regular embroidery thread and freestyling a few dozen flowers, but then I decided I didn't at all like how that looked and I cut the thread out. What I ended up doing was using some DK or 8-ply yarn, depending on where you are, to make a larger floral design. I decided it'd be a good idea to plan out the placement before I started, so I took a photo of this and brought it into Photoshop. I decided on this contrasting pattern of flowers, some beige with a black center, some black with a beige center, and I tried to place them strategically so that they would both cover the worst spots of damage but also look intentionally placed, and eventually I decided on this. I placed a safety pin, or a regular pin because I couldn't find most of my safety pins, in the spots where the center of each flower is going to be placed. I put the sweater in an embroidery hoop, centering one of the pins in the middle, and then following my design, I got to work. So using a yarn needle, which was the appropriate size for the yarn, I threaded my first color onto the needle, doubling it over and putting a knot in the end. And then imagining a small circle around the safety pin in the center, I began doing a Lazy Daisy embroidery design with the first color. And if you want detailed instructions on how to do the Lazy Daisy design, see this video, but I'll give you a quick refresher. So I worked my way around this imaginary circle, doing 7 to 9 petals for each flower. And then with my second color, I did a simple back and forth satin stitch in the center of the daisy. So here's that quick refresher. To do a Lazy Daisy stitch, you bring your needle up next to the previous petal and then back down again just beside where you came up. Bring the yarn almost all of the way through, but stop when you have a large loop left. This loop's going to form the petal. I like to position the loop in place with my hand where I want it, and then the last step is to bring your needle up just on the inside of the top of the petal, pulling the thread all the way through, and then back down on the outside of the petal, which secures it in place. The satin stitch for the center is worked by bringing your needle up on one edge of the circle, pulling the yarn all the way through, then bringing the needle back down on the opposite edge of the circle, and then repeating that all the way across the circle. Simple. When I was doing the last few flowers, I decided that it was actually easier and looked a little bit better if I stitched the center of the circle first, and then did the petals using the Lazy Daisy stitch around this. But either way looked fine. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not your mom. To finish off the yarn, I flipped the design to the back, and first I just threaded the yarn through these back threads, which depending on the weave of your sweater, the size of your yarn, the confidence you have in this, that might be all you need to do. Now, while my own sweater had quite a tight weave, the material was very slippery, so I also put in a few knots as well to make extra sure it wouldn't come unraveled, and then I cut the remaining yarn off. And that's how I upcycled this damaged sweater. Let's see how it turned out. This was a really easy way to fix a sweater with some quick yarn embroidery. You can't tell that it's damaged anymore because the flowers are hiding the worst of it, and also the busy design in the yarn distracts the eye from any other mild pilling on the sweater. And I love how it turned out. If you tried this or any of my other tutorials, please tag it with DIY Annika on social media so I can see how it went and I can share your posts. Thanks for watching and stay crafty, everyone. See you next time!